Good.
What school did you go to?
I went to Texas Tech.
Okay, all right.
All right.
So B Jones, you don't have anything negative to say about her top five like you did mine?
Nah, man. You know what? I want to go on there and officially apologize for condemning your top five. How about that?
Say, man, that's big of you. Andre 3000, Tupac, Jay-Z, Biggie, and
Ain't today April Fool's Day?
Eminem.
No.
Eminem.
No.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Eminem.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nah.
Eminem's my top. Yeah, for sure.
You know, I'm not really apologizing, but I do respect your top five, man.
Well, it's big of you to actually come on air and say that.
You're welcome.
I
bro.
still don't like you, but okay,
You're
we can still
welcome.
continue.
You're welcome. You're welcome, man.
All right, so let's get back to lovers or friends. KD,
Yes.
why don't you take it away?
Okay, so how did you bring your vision to life?
Well, I was actually working for a speed dating company back in the day, and the events were so boring. So boring. And people would come up to me because I had all of this personality and was like, look, this ain't working. Where can I meet people outside of this? And I was like, you know what? I see something here. I can make this like a side thing. So I started working on it last July. Well, in September, I got laid off from corporate America. And so I decided to just start doing it full time. So this is like what I do full time. I have put my heart, soul, time, tears, money, everything into this. So I'm really trying to kick it off. I worked with the business manager. We put everything together. We expanded it. We made it to what we have visions for what we want it to be, but we set goals for what we want it to be now. And then I just executed, and I fully launched on January 19th. So
Awesome.
See,
Congratulations.
corporate America, how y'all created this $1 million baby. You know what I'm saying? This boss.
Absolutely.
Corporate America, you lost out on this one.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that when I lose a job, I normally have another job within 2 weeks, maybe a month max, but I couldn't find anything. And so I took that as a sign. I mean, I have 2 degrees. I'm like, wait a minute, why can't I get a job?
Welcome to America.
And I took that as a sign, like, okay, girl, just do your thing.
Where does the passion come from this? So connecting, you worked at this speed dating company. I mean,
Yeah, I just love bringing people together. I love talking. And like I
Love
was
it.
me too.
like I was telling Kevin, I'm
Gross.
not very outgoing where I'm going to walk up to you and, hey, my name's Pamela, how are you? But if we start having a conversation, I'm going to fully immerse myself into the conversation. And I just see how relationships are these days and how people are meeting. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
come on, y'all. Let's kind of bring conversation back.
It's not
into
organic anymore.
It's not.
No,
It's not.
it's not.
You spend all day texting. You can have a full relationship just over the phone.
Yep.
And like I watched Catfish. I'm sorry. You having a Facebook relationship with somebody for 2 years that you have never seen.
Wow.
And then you wonder why you get to their house and it's not who you thought it was, because that's just what we're used to these days. And I want to change that.
That's crazy. So you like a modern day Hitch.
I guess so. Somebody
there
else
you
told me
go.
that.
Yeah.
Somebody
That
else
was a
told me
perfect-
that.
I hope Will Smith's out there listening to this too.
Hey,
Yeah.
Will. Jada, I'll be on Red Table.
Hey, we need to get you there.
So where did my biggest question is what sets you apart? I know you mentioned some other sites
Yes,
that were out there, and I'm just
Yes.
curious. We always heard the swipe right or swipe left.
exactly.
The Tinders and I think y'all talked about the Black Planets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
Black Planet. Almost
Right.
got me in trouble too. But that's another story.
so tell us what separates your website and it's lovers or friends,
Lovers or friends.
I messed
yes.
up once. I haven't messed up all day, and then we get in here and leave me alone.
It's okay. What sets me apart is that I want to take you beyond just an initial surface conversation. At my age, I'm sorry, I don't care how many brothers or sisters you have. I don't care if you have a pet. For allergy reasons, I would. But, let's talk where you've been, what you've been through, where you want to go, what your direction is in life, what your beliefs are, how you raise your kids. Like, all of these fluff questions that you get on these sites, yeah, we might match that way, but
right.
unless we have a full-blown conversation, what I do is I bring people together face-to-face.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice but to talk.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you. If you come by yourself, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to have a conversation with you. You come with your friends, I'm going to try to get you to talk to other people besides who you came with.
Right.
I mean, what's the point of going to something and just sitting in the corner and talking to your friend? You
Right.
can do that at home.
Right.
I'm trying to get people back to having conversations and get out of that first. I mean, I've done the dating sites before, and you connect or you swipe right and he likes you too, and then it's like, hey beautiful, how's your day?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. How are you? I'm good. Okay.
Yep.
The next
Dot,
day,
dot, 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 dot.
exactly.
Yep.
Then the next day is WID. And it never really goes anywhere because we don't know how to talk anymore.
Absolutely.
We just talk with our fingers, and that drives me bananas.
And that's killing us in education too, because when they're writing papers, they're writing as if they're sending a text message.
Yes.
Oh, like if you do this, or I'm like,
Hey, they put the big U instead of Y.
Exactly.
They do that. They use the WID. They do all of that. I'm like,
emojis on
you
the
do
thesis.
realize that
Right.
this is for a grade.
Right.
It's just crazy.
And it drives me crazy when people over 40 do that.
So what do you find is like the chasm or the biggest misdirection or a faux pas of a single person going into the dating game?
She's like, who said I was single?
You messy. Just
Have you not
messy.
been looking at Odell's page? I'm not single.
What do you like the biggest mistake or landmine that two people go into these relationships?
I think you all this hashtag relationship goals, and you taking these pictures, and y'all are real cute on Instagram, but do you really know anything about this person?
Right.
Are you finding out what makes them mad, what makes them cry, what makes them sad, what makes them who they are? No, we just want hashtag relationship goals, and we want to be on Instagram and Facebook looking all cute, or we want this, or you see your friend might have this particular relationship from what you see, and you go into your relationship thinking you're going to get that same thing, or it's just a lot of misconceptions on what you think you're going to get versus what you actually get.
Right.
And I think people aren't used to, it's just, you see things on the internet and you read these, see the movies and, oh my God, I want that. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you meet somebody who looks like what you thought, and then you find out 6 months later, he crazy as hell. You about to shoot up your car. He going to come to your job, be sitting outside your car waiting for you to get out. Exactly. Like, people just don't, I think they don't take the time to really get to know somebody when they start a relationship.
I think that comes from expectations.
Yes.
Expectations. But if you don't meet and talk, you don't even know what each other's expectations are, because two people hardly ever are going to have the same exact expectations.
Exactly.
But you're willing to at least maybe, when you meet the right person and you feel like, you're willing to maybe tweak some of those expectations to make it work because the other person is doing it for you as well.
Absolutely.
And then that's the way it's organically can grow. But most of the time, just with, in this social media day and age where, it's a lot of money, fashion, what's in right now. It's what really drives people. And I just think that there's just a lot of misnomers about when people say, when you say relationship goals, well, like, what are your goals together that you've defined together and you've discussed it, and now we're putting both of our foot forward to make that happen. Right. Now, along the way, there might be some roadblocks, but at least you can, take on those together.
Right.
But
exactly.
The relationship goals, when you just take a picture and because it's just like, it's cool for social media and you really want your followers to see like, yeah, I got something going on. That's really it, you know? And so,
of course you don't want to put all your business out. This food made me mad today. He did this, he did that. But at the same time, it just don't go by what you see on the internet, because a lot of that is just false.
Right. No, I agree.
All right. So you're doing this for singles.
Yes.
Let me ask you, are you single yourself?
That's a complicated question.
Yeah, it's complicated. Actually, I've been divorced twice. I just got out of a 7-year off and on very tumultuous relationship. Okay. So am I dating? No. Do I like somebody? Yeah.
Oh, okay. You want to say who it is on here?
No,
we can help you out. We're all about trying to help people out on Sportslifetalk.
No. I'm good.
Is he gonna listen to the show?
Or
she?
Well, if he does,
no, it's a he.
Okay.
Oh, hey,
I don't want to assume in these days. I'm trying to be respectful.
I don't know.
Make sure he listens to this, and maybe he knows already that you like him, and he may like you.
I don't know. He might like me a little.
Okay. Well, I think you already know, and you just
anyway, so next question.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, you did say you may or may not be single. You got a lot in common with that one over there. Would you use lovers or friends to find someone?
yes. If it weren't my company, I wouldn't come again with any expectations, thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna walk in here and I'm gonna find the love of my life."
Right.
I would walk in, expecting to meet some amazing people, and if one of those people ends up being someone that I am attracted to and interested in, and the feeling is mutual, then yes. But I don't want to go into anything. I have a friend like that. I won't say her name.
Go ahead.
But But
We got
she
your back.
goes into every, when we go out or when we're doing something, it's about, well, what guys are going to be there? Who's going to be there? I hope it's cute guys there. I hope it's this. I hope it's that. I'm like, girl, just have fun with me.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't get real sad. We going there, everybody but ugly, or,
Yeah.
So I'm curious about that. So how much of the physical attraction goes into the catalyst of these relationships? I mean, like, because sometimes I see some ugly folks, and they be married to some pretty people. I mean, it'd be one attractive person and one ugly person, and I'm just curious, is it about
beauty
that
is
mouthpiece?
in the eye of the beholder.
Because my mama told me, son, your mouthpiece worth $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So I started putting it on them.
Another Louisiana thing.
Yeah.
Put your L's up.
I haven't seen Sportslifetalk's bank account with $1 million in it yet. So.
Yes, you need.
It's coming though. Hey, we got prophetic word on that, man. We coming.
Absolutely. There has to be something that is physically attractive to you about.
Yeah.
It could just be one thing.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be the whole thing.
Right.
It could be, like, for me, a person's smile is really important. A person's height, I'm a tall girl, is kind of, attractive to me. And then once they open their mouth, yes. I mean, because I've had some guys that, but then they start talking. I'm like, okay, you're getting cuter and cuter the more you talk.
Right.
Because it's an intelligent conversation. It's a more deep conversation than just, talk.
Yeah, because Biggie said, black and ugly as ever. However, I stayed Coochie down to the socks.
You and Gucci.
Coochie.
I thought you said
It was
Gucci.
Coochie.
I thought you said Gucci. I was like,
C-O-O-G-I.
boy.
Coochie.
I thought you tried to throw your Gucci in there because of the glass
Somebody
and
give me
everything.
some tape, man. Let me go ahead and tape up these.
Please. So,
Yeah, you might need to.
Hey, we
Permanent
can't,
marker.
we can't just put Pam on the spot. We got to put somebody else on the spot.
Yeah, so we're putting on the spot now.
KD.
South Cackalack.
So what do you find attractive?
I want to put Pam back on the spot.
Oh,
I wanna-
look at you.
I wanna ask
We'll
you
come
who's
back to
your-
her. We'll come back
Okay,
to her.
yeah, we're coming back to
Okay, who's your man crush? Like
Ooh.
your celebrity man crush?
Mm.
that. Ooh.
She's like, where do I start?
Hey.
Where do I start?
Is there just one? My celebrity man crush.
Why don't you tell her yours while she's waiting?
Okay.
Because we all know who it is.
Uh-oh.
Odell Beckham is my man crush.
Okay.
So she's
Hey,
like,
your
really?
first reaction. Your first reaction was like, hey,
Wait, you too?
you sure?
Okay. Gosh.
Yeah, that means she has a lot.
Yeah.
It does. I'm trying to pick
It's a
which one I
buffet.
like.
Idris
Okay.
Elba.
Okay,
I-
top
that's-
three.
that's
Top
one.
three.
I figured it was gonna be Idris Elba.
Idris
I don't know
is
because you said kind
one.
of tall.
Yeah, he's one.
Masculine. Masculine for sure. Yeah.
Who else do I like? Omari Hardwick.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Amari Hardwick.
Yeah.
Artesia, you calm down in there. What's wrong with you?
His came from Power.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Or his different movie roles.
Yeah.
Kind of watching him, I was like, oh.
He's dope.
okay. Because I really don't like
Ghost. That's what
pretty
you're talking
boys.
about.
Yeah, Ghost.
I don't like
Okay.
pretty boys. I don't. But let me see. Who else do I like?
Any athletes? No athletes?
Athletes, I like Kobe Bryant.
Oh, look at you. Oh, cool.
The Black Mamba.
Vanessa, where you at?
Well,
Sorry,
Yeah.
Vanessa, but he's fine. Ooh, okay.
All right. So what about any hip hop artists or sports athletes? I guess you said Kobe. So what about hip hop or just music in general?
or she can stick with Ghost because he's a singer too.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a
Yeah.
singer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a
He's
singer.
coming out with an album and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he on that level? I mean, like, is he respectable?
I don't
He's,
listen to him. I ain't
he's
listen to him
decent.
like
He's
that.
decent.
Okay.
Unless he sing on Power, I really don't care. I'm
Right.
watching that show. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But,
You an Empire fan? Jesse Smollett?
No.
Jesse Smollett?
He's become a verb. Like, girl, did
Yeah, I
you
know.
just Jesse
Yeah.
me?
Did you just
Yeah.
Jesse me? Yeah.
You just see it right
Hey,
now.
you better get out of my face with all that Jesse.
R&B is Trey Songz. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
Ah.
love
And his
my
last
gosh.
album, well, all
That's-
the albums he's put out
That's
are
the
pretty
debate
good.
we got right now is that Trey Songz thing because he was he's
We did our
upset.
5 Fingers of Death, like any beats that we were freestyle over, if they just put it on. And one of the ones I picked it was successful, the one with Drake. And this man over here was trying to call me out on. He's
He's
like,
still sensitive about it.
yeah.
He's still
we just
turned
talked about it last week. I haven't got
you
over
pick
it.
on him a lot.
Oh yeah.
He got a deep seated hatred for LSU, and
Okay. Well, you got all that on today.
Look
I'm
at him.
dripping, drip.
Oh,
It's
shut
a-
up.
Hey, he tried to call me out last week about losing to Florida. Then we went on to beat Tennessee on national television.
But here's the thing. My favorite team is who?
Go Tigers.
Florida, right?
I mean, I give you
did y'all
props to
beat
that,
them?
Florida has got a losing record so far this year.
But did they beat y'all?
Like
So what they say
14 and
about y'all?
16. Then
You know-
we go into the dance.
Hey, back to KD and Pam.
Wait, we're gonna call y'all the latex rival, Louisiana, Texas.
Hey,
I don't like the
it
term
that.
latex.
I don't
Yeah,
like that
like-
latex either. That's one thing we can't agree on. You know what I'm saying?
I like it like that.
Yeah, hey, that's what latex.
All right, KD. So give us your ideal guy.
I don't have an ideal guy. I'm with her with the height thing.
So what's too tall? Is there such thing as too tall?
Too tall Jones.
Oh,
He's too
absolutely
tall.
not. No.
I don't think that's too tall.
Mm-mm.
Too short is 5'11" or shorter.
Thank you.
Really?
Too short.
That's
That's
too short.
5'11"?
Wait, how old?
Yeah,
How
'cause-
tall are you?
Come on, KD.
You about 5'4".
Yeah, about 5'4".
No. She ain't 5'4". She ain't 5'4", man.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10" and 3/4.
So yeah, that's a tall line.
So what's your
Yeah.
ideal height for a man? Like whenever you
You
meet
gotta
somebody.
be. You gotta.
6
I'm
foot
sorry.
above.
No, 6 foot. You have to be at least 6'2" to ride this ride.
Get out of here.
Oh, come on, ride that train.
Because when I put on heels,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
And I have a son that's 6'7".
What?
So-
Yeah, he plays basketball too.
Yeah, and so I don't want my son to be like, "What's up, homie?" You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Say
looking
look,
like
cuz.
Jody on Baby
Don't talk to
Boy.
my mama like that.
Exactly. So, but I do want to point out one thing since she brought this up. I find that a lot of tall men, I have a friend that's about her height, they will bypass me and go straight to my short friend. And I'm like, she's talking to a guy that is 6'9".
Wow.
Wow.
I think that's
Yeah, my
kinda
daughter
too
tall.
Well, I just say for me, I prefer tall women. It's just
Mm-hmm.
the woman I fell in love with that just happened to be 5'2", because she's the shortest person I've ever dated. I usually date like 5'8" and up. Well, not taller than 6'2", because then I'm looking up at you, and then you probably
Right.
can punk me. So I
Right.
can go out like that.
Right.
So let's talk about what are your ideal women. We're all married, by the way, but
Oh,
we just
wait,
want to throw
hold on.
that out.
Let me add one thing though.
Uh-oh.
Clean nails is a big thing for me. Like some guys I've came across, like just like, hey, how you doing? Your nails are
Ooh,
dirty.
and
What are
then
you
when
doing?
they're all nubby down here because you bit them all off and
Yes,
stuff. That's not
Well,
cute.
that brings me to like the whole
Little
boomerang
sausage
thing.
fingers.
I hate feet. I don't like feet, but a woman has to have like pretty feet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, feet.
That was a good one. Like my feet are not all that, but they're not just terrible. And I try to take care of my own feet too. I go get them, done every now and then. I may go today.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
You have to. I mean, that's
gotta-
just part
you
of.
gotta own that up.
Yeah.
But-
Back in the days, it wasn't really accepted, I
No.
guess, but nowadays.
No, now
But shoot,
when I
those
go, I
those
see a man
massages
every time.
put you to sleep.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Bob.
Well, hold up,
Kraft.
not Bob Kraft, not
Okay,
his
Kraft.
massages.
Okay, Kraft.
Say, man, I just try to help us out saying we're married.
Not
we
not
gonna
the
answer
Orchid
questions.
Spa.
Hey, speaking of that, though, before I do that, I do want to announce that Monday is actually my 8th anniversary, man.
Hey,
Oh,
man,
happy
congratulations.
anniversary.
Yeet.
Happy anniversary,
My
man.
anniversary's coming up too
anniversary.
later this month, but
Oh, really? When is
Yeah.
your day?
26th, March
26th.
How long
26th.
have you been married?
It'll be 3 years.
We need to talk to
Okay.
Pamela so she
Yeah.
can give us some good ideas on what we can do. I know I need some.
Oh, you definitely need some.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
you,
need some.
you trying to
I
get
got an
Yeah.
idea, but I don't want to put it on there because she's gonna probably listen.
Okay.
She's
off
going
hour
to probably.
too.
She
Yeah,
has
she
to
probably
listen,
will.
man. We
She
got to
probably
get.
will.
Yeah, we got to talk about that off air for sure.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so if you had a celebrity, not the ones that, well, maybe be the ones that we talked to in the later shows or talked about, what would be like your ideal woman that's a celebrity?
Man, I coming up, my biggest celebrity crush coming up was Megan Good,
Hmm?
and now she kind
That's
of
a
turned
really good
over.
crush.
Yeah, she's kind of turned over a good leaf. So I don't know what it was about her.
A good leaf.
She turned on to the, she married a pastor, and she's
So she's-
she was kind of, it was portrayed that she was kind of out there for a little while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She was kind of
yeah.
wilding, and then she even came out and said it like, hey, I was in a certain place, and I did what I wanted to do, and
Right.
stepped on who I need to step on, and then now she converted over.
But when she had those leaked photos, that was for her husband now, or was that for somebody else? Do y'all remember that?
I don't know,
A couple
man.
years ago, like her, Gabrielle Union, they were getting their phones hacked, and they were.
I'll definitely go Google that after
Right.
the show.
Look, I am.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know about that one.
yeah, y'all didn't know about that.
I remember it was a big deal with all the celebrities getting their phones
Phones
hacked.
hacked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do remember
remember
that
that.
about 2-3 summers ago.
So,
but,
so Megan Good, you going
yeah,
to Megan Good?
good. So I mean, I don't know how you would describe that, but that was me growing up. that's who I thought.
What about you, Serge?
So the person I'm gonna name, I first saw her, I believe, on TV in '98, and I think she looks as good, maybe even better now. Is Jennifer Lopez.
Oh shoot, Jennifer Lopez. That's everybody.
I mean, like
that should be everybody's crush.
yeah, and then obviously that's just looks, right? And then you add she can act, she can sing, she can perform, she dances. I mean, and then she does things in the community. She gives back, like,
and the fact
that's a total package right there. I mean, I just don't see, she hasn't had any things that you hear on the news, like about anything scandals and things like that. She's just been a positive role model. Obviously she's gotten her Grammys and everything like that and accolades, and
she's 49 and still looks
she's
like
49.
Yeah,
bro,
she's 49.
she looks like she's 29 easy.
When we were coming up watching the show, the comedy, in Living Color, did y'all realize that thing was going to blossom into
what it was?
Like 20, 30 years later, we would still be talking about those same people, Jim Carrey movies and Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Lopez. I mean, these people went on to.
Yeah.
I can't think of a show that has produced. I guess maybe Saturday Night Live would be the only
other. Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
Saturday Night Live.
It just depends on what audience you're talking about. Because Saturday Night Live is a particular audience. Because I haven't watched. The only reason I watch it is somebody like. Maybe
so and so performs.
Yeah, somebody performs.
Or somebody you really like is hosting it.
Yeah, I'm talking about like what we came up on the Saturday Night Live with the Eddie Murphys.
Yeah, I got you.
And the David Spades and the Adam Sandlers, some of those guys. Right. So that's crazy.
I guess I give mine. If she could be 5'10", this would be the perfect woman, and she's kind of hood too, so I wouldn't have a chance with her. Lauren London. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That is a beautiful woman.
And she's
Nunu from ATL?
Yeah. I remember her.
Yeah. When you said her name like that, I know.
No, she had a baby by Lil Wayne. She's with
Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey, yeah. So she dated a Blood. Now she's with a Crip.
She got best of both worlds.
Yeah, so she's kind of hood, so I wouldn't have a chance.
She was in This Christmas. That's why I really remember.
Yes, she was. So, hey, let's get back to Pam. Y'all selfish talking about yourselves. Let's get back to Pam.
Okay.
All right,
I
so.
just want to say my girl crush is Gabrielle Union. I love her. Her personality is just so amazing. I love her.
What was the movie she was in, Almost Christmas?
Yes, with
That's the one.
The one that was more recent.
Yeah, the more recent one. Almost Christmas,
mm-hmm.
when she got stuck in the window. Y'all remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So somebody just brought it to my attention. I don't know where I be. I guess I'm under a rock. But Dwayne Wade got a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And they've been together. So they were on a hiatus.
Yeah.
On break, baby.
Yeah.
They were on a hiatus.
Yes.
Yeah. They had broke up, and then he knocked somebody down, and she got pregnant.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
But y'all, is that baby ever like with the whole family?
That's what I'm trying to see the dynamic of
his
that.
other kids.
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're not.
Okay.
No.
His two original, the sons that are older.
Zaire and the other one.
He had 3, didn't he? I thought he had 3 sons.
Yeah, the third one is the one that
is with the other
one.
person,
Oh,
and then
okay.
now Gabrielle and Dwayne Wade have a surrogate baby.
Right.
Yeah. So.
All right. So
I didn't know that.
Where have you been, man? They got KD over
Yeah,
there.
you
social
definitely
media.
have been under a rock for
Exactly,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah, I watch sports, man. I don't keep up with the.
Well, that's a
social
pot.
media.
That's a pot of
I'm like
sports.
Pamela, man. You know,
If you watch sports, you should have.
Some of us don't have this 8-hour screen time on social media, man. Some of us actually, watch sports.
You are nothing
Or
like
play
Pamela.
games.
You are nothing like
I
her.
play the video game.
yeah, something like that. Something else, man. I don't know.
You're nothing like her. Stop it.
I have to do some research on some of these topics we be having on some of these relationships.
Yeah,
So.
it will help the show.
Yeah.
All right, how is it being a single mom with the athlete and having this lovers or friends? I'm not messing it up again.
He just turned 16. He's playing sports. Basketball is his thing.
I hope 6'7".
At 6'9",
He's
6'7".
6'7". Yeah.
He's still not done growing, probably either. So.
Yeah.
What position he play?
He's probably a
The one
post.
down. Yeah, there
He's
you
a
go.
post. Yeah. 6'7".
The one
Yeah.
down
It's
at the bottom.
positionless basketball these days, man. You can't really say point
So he's a
guard.
sophomore or junior? Was he a junior?
He's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore? Yeah, he's
Where
got
does
Six,
what school?
He's 6'7".
Shepton in Plano.
Okay.
We
I'm
live
gonna
in
get him
Plano.
recruited by LSU.
You know what? I'm all for that. If it's
Yeah.
getting somebody in college, even though
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
LSU, we'll take it.
Absolutely. That way he's not too far.
Go
away from
Tigers.
mommy.
Go Tigers.
But he understands what I do now. I've had to explain it to him. Mommy doesn't go to not 8 to 5 anymore. So With athletics, I try to teach him as much as I can based on what I see, things I see that are good, things I see that are bad, so that he doesn't, so he watches out for certain things, the groupies and all that. I mean, cause
16.
I ain't gonna lie, he cute. So
he looked like he could go to the pros.
Yeah.
Hey,
Probably already trying to do that.
yeah, and so I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good, but he ain't like that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about.
But
my
he's,
son,
but
I mean,
he's still got time to get better
Yeah,
too.
he's gonna have the
Exactly.
height too, and they're gonna see that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I try to teach him about that type of stuff and just watching who he keeps in his circle.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Everybody's
Absolutely.
not
So
right.
are you like that mom? Like, okay, you better not date her, or
Well, truth be told, he has a girlfriend that I really.
you really
Oh,
like? You
I
really
had-
like?
You
like the
really
girlfriend,
had to
right?
clear your throat for.
Uh-oh.
So we had a conversation last night. That she's a very sweet girl. I hope her and her mom are not listening. She's a very sweet girl. Don't get me wrong, but I think she has some home issues.
Oh.
And the problem that I have is that she looks to my son kind of like he's her husband and wants him to take her away from these issues. And I'm like, son, you're 16. You
Can't carry that.
You work, 10 hours a week. How are you? You can't even take care of yourself,
Yeah.
and she wants to put all of her, woe is me, I hate my home life. She wants to put all that on him, and that's what I don't like.
Yeah.
But she's a sweet girl. I just think y'all in the 10th grade, like,
Yeah.
that's too much for. If y'all were just going to the movies, let's go to the mall, hold hands, buy some cookies. Yeah, that's great. But I think she wants too much from him at the age. She wants like a 25, 26-year-old relationship with a 16-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's the issue that I have.
Wow, that's
Sound grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
and the
Exactly.
problem with that is like if he is nice and caring
he
and
is.
he starts doing those things and be there,
Yeah.
and then a little while down the line it doesn't work out, then he's gonna feel that much more anger towards that person
Yeah.
too, because I did all this for you, and then and so that's definitely asking too much for somebody that's not really considered even an adult to really having that responsibility, so she needs
Like,
to check
she
herself
called
at the
the
door.
other night. I guess she had like sprained her knee or something, and
Is she an athlete too?
I think she runs track.
Okay.
And he was talking about, Mom, I need to go to the ER, this and that. Baby, she's at care now. She'll be home in an hour.
Oh,
We'll be
goodness.
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not
Extra
that serious.
sensitive.
And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, she'll be okay. She'll call you when she gets home. Give her 30
Yeah,
minutes.
right.
That type thing. And he's just, but Mom, I'm like, boy, sit down.
Ooh, he is.
Yeah, mom, but you try to stop him from doing it, they end up. Well, he's 6'7", he can't sneak out the window, but
Nah, I ain't sneaking out nobody's window.
I do
bro.
have to watch what I say though, because the more I, pull, the more
He's
goes.
gonna go
So
towards
I
it,
just, I try to watch that.
Well, if you need somebody to talk to him, we got 3 guys. We'll go talk to him.
Okay.
He's bigger than us, so ain't too much we can do.
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
that surgeon
Hope he don't
stand on
get
my
mad.
shoulders?
Like, say, man, I'm giving that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence
Lawrence.
treatment.
Right?
no, we-
On Bad Boys.
Can you
Yeah.
fight? Can you
Yeah.
fight? I know. I want to
We
know
were
if he can fight.
We were sitting at a bar, and the guy next to us, we had started talking, and he was like, well, can I ask y'all for some relationship advice? And I'm like, this dude's 16, and he's my son. He
Yeah.
was like, really? I thought he was your man.
Oh, so did he try to holler at you after that?
No.
Oh, man, he's a
He
son.
had,
his
he
son
had a
was
girlfriend.
Yeah, he was only 5'11" anyway.
Oh, he had a chance.
He was.
All right. So besides meeting someone at your lovers or friends' events,
Mm-hmm.
what are some a good place to meet someone, and what are some common dating mistakes?
Good places to meet people.
Everybody say meet somebody good in church, but those are the biggest heathens out there.
That's saying.
Immediately.
Maybe Target.
Walmart.
No.
Shoot, Walmart. That's Club Walmart. Every
It
time I
is,
go there,
and
I
that's
see
why you
fine
don't
women.
wanna go. Well, okay, for women, Target maybe.
Target or Whole Foods too.
Whole Foods, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Whole Foods. So what?
Yeah.
Whole Foods.
That's a different
Yeah.
type of dude.
He
though.
got money if he shop at Whole Foods.
Oh,
Check.
I was thinking about Target. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Target.
He
It's
had money
Target.
And he
Target.
eats good too.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, because we know you're all about eating good, right? We'll talk
Yeah.
about that in KD's corner.
Maybe the gym. I've seen a lot of nice looking guys in the gym. You got to be careful though. I don't want to do that's like too fine, because then he know he too fine. So I don't need you to have a
Because
little.
you're not the first person that's probably already.
Exactly. Have a little
Mhm.
belly on you. Still be working on your
Yeah.
biceps. That's kind of cute.
Yeah,
too.
I don't want you to be having no 2% body fat. I mean, that's-
Exactly. You
no.
can't even work out because you're taking pictures in the mirror. Yeah. I don't want that.
Show off.
Dating tips. common mistakes. What was my question?
Yeah, common
Yeah,
mistakes.
Common mistakes. I'm fellas.
Uh-oh.
Looking at you,
Stop
bro.
asking for the damn pictures. Send me a pic.
Yeah.
Send me a pic.
People still do that?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I guess I gotta stop asking for pics then.
Yes.
No, I'm joking. That's a joke.
The
Good
hey
Lord.
beautiful gets old after like the third day. Texting too much and never calling. Now some people don't like to talk that much, and I'm not saying we have to sit on the phone like old school. You hang up first. No, you hang up first. But have conversation on the phone every now and then. I like to talk to people randomly. If you can't answer my phone at my phone call at 10 o'clock at night, who you laying next to?
Yeah.
Don't call me every time in the car.
He's just probably asleep though. He worked hard all day.
He could be, but you still texting me though.
Oh yeah, that's a no.
Well,
Yeah,
Okay.
you
No.
can't answer the phone, and every time we talk, you're in the car going somewhere. Red flag,
Right,
ladies.
right.
Red flag, run.
So how is that a red flag? I mean,
he can't talk to you at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm just asking
I
the
used to
question
date.
nobody else is
I
asking.
dated a guy that I didn't know had a whole wife, and it started dawning on me. He was always at the gas station, or he was always at the grocery store. He was always and I'm like, this dude
And by
never calls
himself.
me at home.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
I'm like, he never calls me.
So
at
you've been
home.
through this.
And I actually popped up over his house.
Oh.
Y'all want to hear that story?
Yeah. go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear it. Let's
Hey,
hear it.
I can
Artista,
see the
turn it up.
ratings
We
going
gotta
up
hear
as we
this.
speak.
Turn it up.
So my son
Mute everybody else's mic.
and he
Tune
would
in.
He would disappear at random times, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. I used to work for a staffing company, so I had his address, and so my son and I were out one day, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go by his house, and so I went, and my son was little at the time. He was like 5 at the time, I guess. So I had him kind of behind me, and I knock on the door, and this lady comes to the door. Now, mind you, he had told me he lived with his sister. Okay, I was like, oh, okay,
That's a sister.
This must be the
This is
sister, right?
Okay.
So I
They don't look
said,
nothing alike, but yeah.
Was she attractive? Was the wife attractive? Okay. All right.
Not at all. Maybe it was just a bad day.
Okay.
But I said, hey, is Marcus here? And she said, yeah, who wants to know? And I said, oh, well, I'm Pam. I'm with such and such. Because, again, I worked with him. I've been trying to reach him because I have a job for him, but I haven't heard from him. Let me back up. This was after my first divorce, so I gave him my ex-husband's cell phone so that we could talk because he said that he didn't have money to pay. I was dumb. That he didn't have money to pay for a cell phone. So I had taken my ex-husband's cell phone away, but I still had the plan that I didn't want to cancel, so I had given him the phone.
Wow.
So he
okay.
wasn't answering, right? And she was like, oh. And I said, well, who are you? She said, well, I'm his wife.
Yeah, I know your face just.
I said, oh, well, let me tell you who I really am.
Oh.
Oh.
So I told her, and so I guess he was in the room sleep. And she said, hold on a second. So she left the door open, and she, called his name, Marcus. And so he came, I guess he had been sleeping. So he peeked around the corner. And he saw me standing there, and she said, who is this? And and he had this dumb look on his face. Y'all, next thing I know, I just heard all this tussling. And so I looked back around the corner, and she had him down. Now, mind you, she was short. Now, she was thick, though, but she was short, and he was tall. And she had him down, and she was on top of him. And she was going, so I had to pull my son back. I didn't want him to see all of this.
Wow.
She was welling on him.
She was. And
She
so,
give him a two-piece.
Yeah.
it's funny. I was like, and so
World star. And
so then she finally got up, and of course he went off on me for coming over there, and I was like,
What? After he took that L.
Yeah,
He took an L and then
yeah,
got up and
yeah.
got mad at you.
And
Hey,
he
y'all
said-
gonna sit up there and let her do it.
right. And so I was like, well, give me back my
You keep
cell
calling me on my
phone
phone
and
that you pay for.
And I made him go get the phone, and the phone was in his car, and he threw the phone at me, and then he put his wedding ring back on, and he went off on me, and I was like, wow, okay. So then his wife actually contacted me on Facebook, and she was like, well, how did you not know he was married? And I was like, well, that's your husband. How did you not know he was, sleeping with me? Like,
Come
whatever.
on,
but yeah, that was
Dumb question.
Yeah.
Marcus,
But
darling.
he would only talk to me when he was going to the gas station or he was going to get food and this and that. So now I watch out for those things.
So you have a real life experience that you usually typically see in movies or TV
Yeah,
shows.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good story. Though.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a
Yeah.
lot of exactly what you just said happens
All
too
the
many
time.
times,
All the
probably on a
time.
daily basis, but
Mhm.
that's just the world we live in, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. So now I've heard you mention this a couple of times, like the face-to-face interaction. You sound like your service is kind of, I don't want to say engineered towards older population or more mature crowd, but it definitely doesn't sound like it's for the 21, 22, because they like to text. I mean, they go
They
about
do.
their business a little bit different than when
The
They do.
millennials,
Yeah.
you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
they in the
Mhm.
swipe right, swipe left
Exactly.
generation. So
Okay, so I have 3 different age groups. There's 25 to 34, there's 35 to 44, and then there's 45 and up, because my mama said those folks need love too.
Yeah, they do.
They do?
I'm 42, so I'm almost at that. But I haven't gotten to a point yet where I'm starting to break that up, because I don't want a 55-year-old woman that comes to an event to, even if it's just a a networking event, casual event,
Mhm.
to feel like she has to talk to someone who's 26 and still fluttering around the world and kind of.
She may like that though.
She might, but if she's anything like my mom, her nerves are bad.
Okay.
All that. So, it's for all age groups, and I do have to be specific in what I do for the younger kids. They're not really into, let's do a networking event where we can grow as business people and we can share ideas of how to get in one industry and all kinds of things like that. They are more, let's talk about social media content type stuff. They'll come to that before they come to something else. So I have to be strategic and I'm still learning.
you got to coach them up, huh?
Exactly. So I mean, I'm still learning. A lot of my crowd is 35 and up though. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to our Baller's Life segment. And this is
Ballin'.
something that I know that we can really get a good conversation going. Let's talk about KG and his spousal support, or lack of, he doesn't want to pay spousal support. And the thing was, a month before him and his, well, I guess, ex-boo, Brandy, got married, she signed a prenup, right? So now he's looking for the courts to, throw out the whole spousal support, give him legal custody of the kids. So my question to y'all, he's made over $300 million. All right. Should he be required to split his earnings with her?
I need more backstory. Was she with him before he started his career and all this stuff?
I think she may
Or
have.
did she come
Well,
in the
like probably in the middle.
I'm assuming due to the fact that they signed the prenup, he probably.
He was already-
Well, so if you want backstory on KG, you got to understand KG was actually in high school and one of the top players in the country. He was drafted, I think, the first pick of the draft. So they knew KG at the age of 16 and 17, at the same age of your son,
Right.
was going to be great.
Right.
So I don't know at what point Brandy came along, but we had
Okay.
already established the fact through Sports Illustrated and
Right,
ESPN
right.
that it's a kid at
Yep.
this high school. I can't think of the name of the high school right now, but he balling. And so that was, I'm assuming she came in probably somewhere after the age of 17, 18.
Yeah, with the prenup and everything like that.
So the
'cause-
prenup, he
the
probably had
prenup.
money.
Yeah, he got a shoe deal too coming out. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but he did get that. So, so I would say probably in the first 5 years of his
Easy,
NBA career, between 18 and 23, is probably when this Brandy person came along the way.
And do they have? How
I know
many
they have a
kids?
girl. I don't know how
Yeah.
many kids.
I thought they had two.
See,
if
Do
they
I'm
have
not
two?
Mistaken,
Yeah.
So 300 million really isn't 300 million. By the time you take taxes and fees and stuff like that, he probably made 120 to 140.
No, I think it is 300 million
After
after
all-
everything,
after
because
everything.
it's not just basketball, right? It's everything.
Advertising,
Yeah,
endorsement,
everything.
yeah.
I mean, he's
Okay.
obviously been doing a lot of stuff even after retiring, and with NBA TV and TNT and stuff like that too. So he's got a deal with N1. So he's still making money even though he's not even in the league. But overall, I mean, he signed over, I think, 2 contracts that are over
100 million.
100 million each. So that alone right there is so yeah, he made 300 million.
Probably bring home.
Yeah, for sure.
So KD and Pam, I want y'all to put yourselves in Brandy's shoes. Okay, you signed a prenup, and now y'all going y'all separate ways, and you've been living a certain lifestyle, and now you want to continue to be supported.
See, that's all that is. It's about continuing that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For me, and again, I don't have it, so I can't tell you where I would be in that situation. But for me, it would just be more, make sure you take care of the kids. I mean, if he's asking for joint custody, that's cool. But just make sure that the kids maintain their lifestyle more than what I do.
I mean, it's easier said than done, because we know people to this day in our personal lives that, they're living off of, that support from their spouse.
Yeah.
I don't know what that feels like. I can't speak on that.
Yeah.
And I would say that I'm on the same page as her. Just make sure that the kids are good. And, throughout the marriage, hopefully I've built some type of foundation and business,
Equity and something. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And even if I have to, give a small portion to him, a percentage, if I used, his money, his earnings to
his
help
likeness.
build that.
Yeah.
So
I would say they could negotiate. She can say, you know what, let me buy me this house and buy me this car to make sure the kids have a place to live and I can drive them around, pay the child support, and then we're good. Or help me invest in this business that I want to start, and then we're good.
Right.
I'm not just going to ask you to just
Give a fork over half.
give me
$4,000 a month just for me to stay at home so I can still wear designer clothes. Again, that's just me. I've never been in a situation. I might, get there
change
one
your
day.
tune.
Exactly. Like, no, bro, pay me my money.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but that's how I feel now.
Yeah.
All right,
The
KD,
broke Pam.
So since Odell is the target, right? He already got this money.
He's not the target. He's the man.
Okay,
Oh,
he's the
wow.
guy. He's the guy. All right.
Put it in back place. Back up, man. Back up.
So my question to you is, will you sign the prenup if he asks you?
Yeah, I'll sign the prenup. And and we're not having no kids either.
Oh.
Me and Odell are not having kids.
You wouldn't have
She's
his
like,
son?
that
I need him to know that I want him for him. I don't want him for his money or babies or
Well, I take
anything.
offense to this because those kids are definitely LSU Tigers. So I need you to change your stance. I need a wide receiver and a defensive tackle.
But
So
yeah, I would sign a prenup. I would.
Would you sign a prenup?
I would sign a prenup with certain conditions. You're just not gonna put me out like
Right.
on Tyler Perry, Diary of a Mad
Right.
Black
Yeah,
Woman.
yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
dogged
I
her
mean,
the wire
out.
hanger.
Exactly. But I mean, I'm not asking to be set up for the rest of my life. But again, if we have kids, even if we don't have kids, you have thrusted me into this life, into this lifestyle, and I just can't go back to living in an apartment. I mean, whether it be you buy me a small townhouse, you do this and you do this. If we go our separate ways, then that's cool. But it's got to be some stipulations.
Right.
It just ain't, nothing.
All right, let me ask.
And it's whatever to keep the peace too.
Exactly.
You don't want to leave the relationship in crazy drama and
especially when you're out in the forefront of the media.
right.
Yeah.
That's why Nicole Murphy and Michael Strahan never got married, because they could not work out that prenup.
Oh,
Get
really?
out.
I thought it was
Wow.
because he liked Nicholas. It's not Nicole. So
Yeah.
Well, when she had her show, they were talking about that. I can't stand you.
Strahan. Somebody please tweet us about Strahan, man.
Well, y'all
Somebody
know
step up
people
and
were
defend.
saying that about him, right?
No, I didn't know.
I've
that.
heard some.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard some
that's-
I
stuff.
ain't heard that about
How
Strahan.
you gonna have
man.
Nicole Murphy and let that go?
That's
That's a good point.
Ooh-wee.
How you
good
gonna
point.
let that go?
That's a good
I
point.
follow her on Instagram. Hey, Nicole.
Ooh.
All right, so let me ask you two guys something. Would you feel obligated to go ahead and split the millions that you've earned with her?
Obligated?
Yeah.
I ain't obligated by nothing, because at the end of the day, all the hard work that was put in from, I don't know, when I was 7 years old, and then I continue to have to do, I think a lot of people have a misnomer about, I don't have a quote-unquote a 9 to 5, but, most of these athletes and stuff like that, they still have to put in work year-round. Their 9 to 5 is completely different, and it actually involves a lot more physical exertion than anybody else. They have to eat a certain type of way. They can't go out and get drunk and wasted and do whatever other things that
Right.
most normal people can do and get away with. No, I would not feel obligated. I think I would be more on the proponent of, sitting down, figuring out an agreement that we can both, come to terms with, that's fair for both parties.
Yeah.
And that going forward, there's not going to be issues with any of the, the kids getting taken care of, and then even that, it should also be up until a certain age or whatever too, right? So, and then if you purchase a house and a car and stuff like that, it should kind of be like understood. Like, I mean, what more do you really need to, then everything starts becoming a want and not something you really need. But there's a lot of people, once you live that lifestyle, it's like, no, I need that. No, you don't really need that. You just had it because, we were together. So,
Blessed.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess I go back to that whole waiting to exhale experience, right? Even
Clothes on
though,
fire, that one.
yeah,
Right.
well, Bernadine. My whole thing.
You remember the name?
Yeah, because but that's the thing though. I'm pretty sure Kevin Garnett's wife or former wife had done some stuff, like you said, like Serge was saying. It takes more to maintain it. There's probably a lot of sacrifices she made, and from how she lived and things of that nature to support him. He has a bad game. Nobody else. He couldn't go in the media and get sympathy from the rest of the world. He went home and his wife was the one rubbing on his shoulders or rubbing on his hurt ankle.
Somebody at the hotel.
So I think,
Well, the
but
team pays for some of that.
I know.
But I'm just saying, there's probably a lot of emotional support and, hey, I got the kids. You don't have to be here. Things that she was taking care of so that he didn't have to worry about those. See, I don't know what her role was in the relationship. I don't know if they had a nanny around all the time. Or
I'm
was
sure
she really,
they did. I'm sure they had a chef. I'm sure they had a lot of those things.
You
Yeah,
see
money
what I'm
like that.
saying?
Most people don't have a regular
So
life.
I think it has to be prorated based on how you feel. Now, only thing I'm disappointed in KG is I would have muted all this. I would have just said, hey, let's try to figure out terms behind closed doors.
Maybe he did, and she was like, "No, I want that 150 million."
Nah, that's a different subject.
Right.
Now, that's a different
So
subject.
there's people out there that'd be like, "No, I don't care." There's a reason we
he's
signed a
taking
prenup.
her to
No,
court,
no,
though,
no,
right?
no,
No, you can't do that. You
But
can't do it. You
KG
can't
filed
tease
it.
us.
But KG filed this,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
it wasn't the wife. The wife didn't file
okay.
this. KG
Yeah.
filed this against her, saying that, hey, I don't want to pay anything. So, or
Like
maybe
Gilbert
he's saying he
Arenas.
don't want to
Oh,
pay.
yeah, Gilbert
Or maybe he's
Arenas.
saying that she don't want to
Yeah.
pay what he offered, or
Yeah.
what he she didn't want to take what he was offering or something. I don't know.
Probably.
So.
Okay, real quick, B. Jones, give us your yeet of the week.
Man, yeet of the week is going to a young lady. Even though I'm a LSU fan, I gotta show love to some of my other SEC schools. It goes to Arkansas first baseman Danielle Gibson. So if you're not a baseball fan, they got this thing called a cycle, and a cycle is when you hit a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. As rare as that is for it to happen, Danielle Gibson was able to amass something called a home run cycle.
Something that's never been done before.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been done one other time in Division I, and I don't know if that was from a guy or a gal, but I'll tell you what, she was able to hit a single home run, a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run, and a grand slam. What's even more impressive about this is that she did it in 4 innings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
consecutively.
she was coming up again to bat, but the mercy rule got implemented. So
Yeah.
they ended the game.
I saw this the other day.
Mercy rule?
Yes.
The mercy rule.
in softball.
So she put them out of their misery. So Danielle Gibson, you get a yeet.
There we go. All right, so KD, what you got for us in your corner?
Okay, so in the month of February, I decided to, actually, it was me and my daughter that decided to not eat chicken, pork, or beef. So she ended up
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, it was actually my daughter's idea. She plays a lot of soccer, and
How old is she?
She's 11.
Oh, okay.
And she decided she wanted to take the smallest month of the year and cut out all those
Well, that was smart.
all those proteins
Mm.
and get more veggies. But her dad was feeding her things that he shouldn't have, and so she only lasted about a week.
Oh man! But you kept going.
And people were getting in her head saying, you play a lot of soccer, you need your protein and whatever
But you can get
else.
protein
But I was
from
about to say
other
she
stuff,
could have
though.
gotten that from other stuff too. But
Right, but I guess it was the inconvenience at the time. So
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
giving up
Yeah.
chicken.
yeah, and you know
no.
what? That has been the hardest part of it all is the chicken.
I can let
'Cause
everything
chicken
else go, but that
wings-
yard bird, no.
Yes.
How do you feel after a month?
You know what? I don't feel a difference. So I made it 28 days. I've been eating shrimp and
Alright.
fish. I tried salmon while I was in South Carolina, but I can't really say how I feel because I guess I always feel great. So
Okay.
it's
So you're
not,
kind of really a pescatarian.
yeah, a
Yes.
pescatarian, or I don't really want to put a name for it. I'm just not eating meat.
Are you ever like low on energy
No.
or nothing's changed at all in your routine or random headaches because you're not getting certain foods that you were normally accustomed to eating?
No, now the first week I just
Mhm.
wanted to sleep. Like
Okay.
I was really tired the first week.
Okay.
But I haven't.
Yeah, you got to get your body to adjust to
Yeah.
what it is you're doing
Changes,
now.
yeah.
right.
But you go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
But you did say you're willing to get meat, but it had to be It had to be from.
Odell Beckham, and
Odell Beckham.
it had to be served on a gold platter.
He probably would do that for you too. So how was South Carolina?
South Carolina was good. I really didn't get to see the city like I would have liked to, but yeah, it was cool. And I was hoping I was gonna run into Deshaun Watson, since he went to Clemson.
Yeah, look at you.
But,
That's number 2 on the list.
Ooh, cheating on Odell.
Odell, she's sorry. She's sorry, man. She don't mean it.
But it was good. It was good.
All right,
So,
go ahead.
I'm going to ask one last dating question.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a video that was on Twitter saying if a man pays for a date with his credit card, it's not a real date. So what's your take on it?
Why would it not be?
I have no idea.
That's what I said. I
the
mean,
same
That's
thing.
he's
the
still having
dumbest thing
He's
ever.
still
Are we
having to
saying
pay. And
Credit card or debit card? I mean, does it
credit
matter?
card has interest.
Yeah, I was about to say you might have a 28% interest rate on that
Hey,
thing.
you're getting fed regardless. So
Well, okay, let me just say this. So there might be like maybe he doesn't have any money. I don't know. But I know a person that pays for everything with their credit card because they get points.
That's right.
And
That's
at
smart.
the end of the month, they pay off that credit card, but they still have their points for travel or for food or whatever.
Hotel,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
What
It's
about
smart.
this though? What if he pulled out like, hey, I'm taking you
A
to
rush
dinner?
card?
No, I was gonna say.
you fill out a rush card with me, I'm gone.
I was gonna say he like I'll take you to dinner and a movie and everything is paid for with a gift card.
wow, yeah.
Oh,
Now that's-
I'm good with that.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, see,
a lot of women aren't.
Yeah.
A lot of women
You know what I'm
aren't.
saying?
with
So
the gift
somebody-
Like
card.
how much
Hey,
we
gift
got
card.
on it.
Yeah.
Now,
I can order whatever I want.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I've
Now,
heard
I-
women say that though. No, a gift card. That's just I don't get it.
But you
Money,
know,
money.
Another thing too, when you go on dates, I'm not like, what card are you using?
It-
Well,
I'm
what's
not
like,
what's
let
your
me
budget
look
so I can know what to look on the
First
menu?
of all, when the check come, I'm putting out my phone like, I hope you got this. So I mean, I really don't pay it. I don't. Now I will say this, please, if you're just getting to know someone, maybe pulling out coupons and Groupons isn't the
No.
best thing to do.
Okay, all right.
Again, now after maybe like the third or fourth date when y'all are a little bit more comfortable, girl, I got this Groupon to, Texas Day Brazil. You want to go? Oh hell yeah, let's go.
Okay, so what's the difference between a gift card and a Groupon? I mean,
Because I got a gift card from doing these surveys. That's my side hustle. I do surveys.
shoot,
And I'll pull that out in a minute. But that's different. That's because that's I don't know.
So are you
It's
looking at what
different.
You should be there to enjoy me. Damn it, not
I
my
am.
Groupon.
I am. I'm
It's
just
because
saying-
it's
but when
Groupon
you-
we're
when-
able to go here.
No, when you pull out the hold on, babe, hold on.
Print it
I
out.
got
piece
this
of paper.
Groupon. No.
Well, see, that's a little too hood. I can get that, but how about hey, I'm gonna pay this with the Groupon.
Yeah, well,
I got a barcode in
yeah,
my
I gotta
phone.
say,
Pull out my
Groupon is a little
pocket.
bit more discreet now. Groupon is a little bit more discreet. You can just hand them your cell phone.
I guess so.
Or
I guess
or just
so.
run to the restroom real quick and holler at the waiter or the waitress and be like, hey, I got this. Like let me handle this right here right now.
You
Hey,
know,
so
I was liking y'all at first. Then the Groupon thing. Now I'm not feeling y'all anymore.
Kev got his Groupon.
all
Him and
for
Tiffany had
Groupon.
it. So that
Groupon got to
Groupon.
make money too, man.
I'm all for Groupon.
Hey,
Don't
sponsor
get me
us,
wrong.
Groupon. Yeah, I'm with you.
Exactly. It worked for Tiffany Haddish. Did
That's
it?
what I
Come on,
mean.
let's
Yeah.
get these
We gotta make some
Groupons.
videos.
So I know the dating game has changed a lot in
Mhm.
like the last 10 years. So is it a guy still paying for dinner on the first date, or is that something that they?
What
That's good. I was gonna ask that too.
Oh yeah, a good first date.
I've known a lot of guys now that are not going as extravagant on the first date. Like I met a guy, he's an older white guy, and he said for his first dates we go to Starbucks. He's like,
That's
I
conversation.
don't want to sit here
Conversation.
and spend
Understandable.
$50 to $75 on you, and 10 minutes in I'm like, oh God, I want to go home. So I get that. A lot of women might not understand that, but I feel like if I don't want to say a good woman, but the right woman will understand. If you tell
Yeah.
me we going to Starbucks, I don't even drink Starbucks. I'll get some hot chocolate. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then he said the second date, they'll go to maybe like a Chili's or Applebee's. And then like by the third date, he's ready to wine and dine you if he makes it to the third date. Men paying for things now, I don't really know. I think so. I guess so.
Well, let me ask you this: how about if a woman asks a man out? Should she be required to pay for
If
it?
I ask a man out, I will take the initiative to pay. And typically on the first couple of dates, like say he says, well, I want to go see this movie, and he buys the movie tickets, when we get there, I'll say, do you want popcorn or drink or whatever, and I'll offer to pay for that.
Yeah.
Whatever's left on his AMC gift card.
Don't let it be
I know
Groupon.
what the balance
see-
is. I got that, baby. Don't worry about it.
Don't let it be
That
Groupon.
still comes back down to communication, because if you're able
Absolutely.
to talk about it beforehand, because I've been on, dates and stuff like that in the past where it's kind of understood as far as like based off of our conversation to even leading up to, because like we've probably already known each other, like maybe ran into each other at like, friends parties and things like that. Now it's like we're starting to connect. Hey, let's go, do this or whatever. And so I've had people where they've offered to pay their share, and and depending on how I feel like that person is, because some people will take it as like, okay, this isn't, it's our first time like hanging out or whatever,
Right.
but
It's
I don't want to make it seem like, okay, this is a real date
Date,
already
yeah.
or whatever. So
Yeah.
it all really depends on the communication, and you got to have a respect level for each other, what their background and where they are, because you don't really know them yet. And this is a phase of getting to know them, and just by them even willing to offer, that shows like, okay, like they're not all about like, nah, you the guy, like you got to spend the money, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Got to make sure they not Tatiana, man.
Oh, there you go.
yeah,
But see,
remix.
my mom taught me that you should never go anywhere with a man that you can't afford to pay for yourself.
My
Yeah.
mama taught me never go anywhere with dirty drawers on. So.
Dirty draws.
I always wear clean underwear.
I mean-
please don't do that either.
I always wear clean underwear.
But yeah, so that's my take on that one.
All right, y'all. So thank you for listening to another episode of Sports Life Talk, where life without sports is just talk. Remember to follow and like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Pam, where can people find you?
You can find me all over the place. I am.
Whoa.
Wait a minute, I didn't mean it like
Hey.
that. My website is www.loversorfriends.net. Loversorfriends.net.
Or friends, please get it right.
They want to sell me .com for $3,000. That's not
Yeah.
happening. So
Oh,
it's
no.
.net.
Premium domain.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
Or on Instagram, Facebook, and I think Twitter. I don't know. I'm still learning the Twitter thing, but it's at Lovers or Friends TX, not Texas, just TX.
Okay.
So follow me there, please.
Follow.
A bunch of events. I'm sorry, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead,
A bunch
please.
of
Get 'em
events
in,
coming
get 'em in.
out in March. I have a day party on the 23rd. I have a game night on the 22nd. I got a bunch of other stuff. So when you go to the website, check out the calendar and come, people.
So are we invited? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay. I didn't
Even
know.
for Mary?
You can come to the game night and to the day party.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. we
Cool.
signed
I'm
up
cool
for
with
those
day
stuff.
parties all day.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all want to share y'all's Instagrams, Facebooks?
Oh, I'm at KT Cuts 101. That's on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm at sirs.unitedent.
At Boss B318.
I'm at KDNYCEG _ on Instagram.
Oh, and real quick, we forgot about the Kodak Black. We didn't talk
Yeah,
about
we'll
that.
be
Yeah,
doing
one
a
more week, right?
Well, yeah, we're doing a winning weekend next weekend
Cha-ching.
for Kodak Black concert, which is on Friday, March 15th at the Bomb Factory.
Yes,
Oh,
and
wow.
follow us on Instagram to get all the details. We hope that you will join us next week, and please tell a friend to check us out. Bye, y'all.
Tell your friends.
Yeet.
Later.